For SunSentinel.com, this is Ira Winderman with your latest Ask Ira Miami Heat mailbag. Our first question today comes from Neil, who asks, Ira, if you were shaping this roster, what would you do? And could you please explain? Luke Babbitt. First, because it's August, I wouldn't do anything but consider all the possibilities. There is a reason the NBA allows you to carry up to 20 players in the offseason, before having to trim to 15 to start this season. I also might see or explore again to see if there's any market for Josh McRoberts. We know there apparently wasn't any in July when the Heat were completing their negotiations with Dwayne Wade, trying to clear up additional salary cap space. And I think I also would have Coach Eric Spoelstra explore the opportunities during training camp with Briante Weber and Rodney Magruder to see what they might be before you have to do something else. Otherwise, I do look at some of the signings and wonder whether it was Wayne Ellington, who now shapes up as nothing more than a fifth guard, or even someone like Luke Babbitt. And I think it'll be really curious to see if the Heat might even eat a contract right now, considering this is not a matter of the luxury tax being in play. Yes, there are issues with this roster as far as who to cut, whether a young player has to go, but there's also time, and plenty that can be explored. Our second question comes from Juan, who says, why all the criticism of Goran Dragic and Beno Udrih? Point guard is the floor general, and thus both of them can maximize the potential of this team. Exactly, Juan. That's what I've been saying for the last few days when people first questioned the Beno Udrih addition. If you want to get the most out of players like Justice Winslow and Hassan Whiteside, players who don't necessarily create their own shots, you need a veteran point guard on the floor. I'm not saying that Josh Richardson or Tyler Johnson can't grow into that and shouldn't get opportunities, but let's be honest, without Dwayne Wade, you don't have that playmaking type of shooting guard. And unless you're going to play Josh McRoberts a little as a facilitator, you need a true point guard, whether it's Goran Dragic or whether it's Beno Udrih. And our last question comes from Gabriel in Denver, who says, Wayne Ellington, Josh McRoberts, and Beno Udrih all seems like possible trade bait. Gabriel, it's not that simple. First of all, any player signed, including a returning player this offseason, cannot be dealt until December 15th. In addition, Tyler Johnson, because of the way his contract was structured, cannot be dealt until January 15th. So basically, it's coming down to if you want to make a deal, there's not a lot on this roster to deal, and a minimal player like Beno Udrih really does little for you in the trade equation. I think this is when Pat Riley and his staff sit back, see what happens with Chris Bosh, consider their possibilities, but keep in mind they basically are on hold until December 15th, unless the deal involves, say, someone like Goran Dragic or Josh McRoberts. Those are today's 3 questions. We'll be back tomorrow with 3 more. For SunSentinel.com, I'm Ira Winderman.